Thank you for the welcome. Sounds like a victory to me. I want to thank Mayor Newsom for welcoming me back to this magnificent city. I'd like to thank the people who met me backstage. Your district attorney, Kamala Harris. I want to thank my great friend John Garamendi and his wife Patty. Both of them were in my administration, and I hope he'll be the lieutenant governor after Tuesday. And thank you, Eva Longoria, for supporting us and being such a good citizen. Look, I've been out here twice for Prop 87. Usually when I go campaign, I'm campaigning for people. But I couldn't be campaigning for more people doing anything else. This debate on Prop 87 is like so many of the decisions we're being asked to make all across America today. One side says, stay the course. And the other says, we can do better. Now, I've been following this campaign very closely. The Stay the Course crowd, the last time I was here, was trying to convince you that if you joined every other state in America and had a modest extraction fee on your oil, that it would raise prices at the pump, which was patently absurd because it's all set in a global market, of which this is a tiny, tiny fraction. So they don't argue that anymore. They don't argue that our country and your state face tremendous challenges because of our dangerous dependence on foreign oil. They no longer challenge us when we say our kids are choking on pollution, or that we face profound adverse consequences from climate change. They don't argue any of this stuff. They just argue that, near as I can tell, if you do this, it'll be some government entity that would mess up a two-car parade. So they're trying to promote apathy or ignorance or cynicism. There used to be an old joke we told when I was starting out in politics in Arkansas. The guy takes a poll and he asks the citizen, which is the bigger problem in our state, apathy or ignorance? And he says, I don't know and I don't care. And looks to me like the opponents are spending $100 million to swell the I don't know, I don't care vote. But I think you do know, and I think you do care. They are banking, literally banking, $100 million worth of banking, that you will decide that this challenge is too great and the capacity of Californians is too limited to meet the challenge. They can't deny climate change. They can't deny the national security implications of dependence on foreign oil. They can't deny that too many people in California, especially our children, are breathing air that doesn't meet the most minimal clean air standards, and that the consequences of all these things are terrible. They just say that there must be a better way to do it. And you say, well, why aren't you spending $100 million to do it then? How come you're spending $100 million to beat this? They really just say, if you think about it, I've heard this argument all my life against every positive change that ever came up ever since I was a little boy. They are trying to play on our fear of change and make the perfect the enemy of the good. They say, this is not a perfect proposal. Guess what? I plead guilty to that. We're human beings. It's the other guys that have been trying to tell us they were perfect all these years. We never thought we were perfect. All we're trying to do is to be better, to do better. We won't achieve perfection this side of heaven, but I'll tell you what, we can save the lives of a lot of children by giving them cleaner air to breathe. We can raise the incomes of a lot of farmers in California all across America by letting them make our fuels instead of depending on unstable, unsafe, uncertain sources of foreign oil. We can create good jobs and combat climate change by generating more electricity from wind and solar power and investing in conservation, creating jobs for the future, protecting ourselves against climate change, promoting our national security. We can do that, and we don't have to be perfect to do that. We just got to be better than we are today, and that is really easy. Now, that's why the American Lung Association supports Prop 87. That's why America's finest environmentalists, including Robert Kennedy Jr. and Al Gore, support. That's why an impressive array of Nobel Prize winners support Prop 87. If it were really all that bad for creating a clean, independent energy future, would the oil companies be spending $100 million to get you to vote against it? Now, California is always about tomorrow. Do not make the perfect the enemy of the good. It's the oldest trick in the book to try to hold back the forces of progress. It is the oldest trick in the book. Literally, almost 600 years ago, for all of you here who are in college, almost 600 years ago, Machiavelli said, there is nothing so difficult in all of human affairs than to change the established order of things. Because the people who will lose are certain of their loss, while those who will benefit are uncertain of their gain. That's all that's going on here. It's a 600-year-old trick. And you need to go out and say to the people of California, we're in the 21st century, and we want to lead America into a brighter tomorrow. We are not going to fall for a 600-year-old trick. Take it to somebody else. You can do this. If Brazil can be independent of foreign oil, you can be. I love Brazil, but I think we're as good as they are, don't you? Let me tell you something else. I was just in Denmark. Now, in the last few years, Denmark has increased the size of its economy